This video is about how to use a DoView board to work with strategy. And the idea is this is these this-then pages within a DoView board. Why is this important to up our game in regard to strategy? Because basically what's happening now with AI is doing, and robotics, are doing more and more of the things at the kind of activity and the project level. And the comparative advantage starts to rise up. Unless you've got your strategy really clear, you're really clear about your strategy, it's not sufficient just to be doing stuff. You need to be very, very highly strategic about what you're doing. We've already talked in another video about making sure you've got alignment between your high level strategy and your projects, which is very, very important. And now we're going to talk a little bit in this video about how you can really up your game in terms of thinking strategically. So this is the front page of the overview page of a DoView. We click on one of the this then pages, which happens to be this one about innovation and improvement for, so just a generic organization. So this page, we've got this on this side. We'll start off with ideas are found, performance gaps are visible, improvement ideas prioritized, and we move across to better outcomes achieved. The organization learns faster on that side of the page. Now, the idea here is we're extracting the mental model that people have of strategy. So when people are having a strategic discussion in a boardroom or wherever, at whatever level, basically those people have in their head mental models of what it is they're trying to do. If we do this, then that. These can be articulated as a set of boxes as inside a DoView board. But then if we really want, and normally this is fine, even just exposing that will create all sorts of interesting discussions about what box goes before what box, and there should be more boxes and should be more pages, etc. But if we really want to get into it, we can really start to get quite sophisticated about it. We don't always have to do this, and you want to be able to walk before you can run. But this just shows some of the functionality. So if we move here, we can actually go to this little grey drag area opens up when you mouse over it. And we're drawing a link between small pilots run and effective changes scaled, because unless you have those small pilots, you won't know what's an effective change to scale it. So what we've got now is we can see here, if we click on the border of this box, so I move away from that for a moment, and I'll click on the border of the box here, and it shows us the box which results from the small pilots run box in the sense of being dependent on that happening for it to occur. We can see this right across the model, so we can actually build these connections. As you can see here, there's other examples. So whenever we click on the border of a box, we can see what it's connected to as we move across the model. Now you can actually get AI to generate this. So when you first build the model, you can ask AI to put these links in, and they can be draft links, and then you can amend them to your heart's content. If we click on that little arrow, we're able to actually open up a pop-up which is about the link. Now this is extremely powerful because we can put information about the link between those boxes. And you can be as complicated about this or as simple about this. One thing that you can do, if it's an area where you're looking for evidence or rationale for why that link exists, you can put that link. So you could, for instance, ask the AI, look, put in notes 1, all of the evidence for the link, put in notes 2, all the evidence against it, and then put in display text what you conclude about the strength of that evidence, and then traffic light it, because you can actually traffic light these things. So there we could have that, we could traffic light it, we'll traffic light it green, we'll say there's lots of evidence, lots of evidence for this link. Okay, so then we've got that there, so we save that. Now, so we know that there's lots of evidence for that link. Now, if we go up to page view, we can turn on show link display text traffic lights on mouse over of black link arrows. So we go there, and there we go. Now, so now what's happening is, what happens if we mouse over that link, we can see the what's called the display text from the link come up. There's lots of evidence for this link, and you can see the traffic light there. So you can imagine you can put a lot of evidence or rationale for links underneath this. So this gives us a rich picture of the strategy that we're trying to develop here. There's just a couple of other things about these links. If you want to change their polarity, we can change them to negative. So we go into the link pop-up and we change it to negative. We go save, and you can see here that's actually changed to a red link, saying that that's a negative link between that does not make that happen. It in some way reduces this box on the other side of that. And then just lastly, if you want to get rid of the link, there's various ways of doing it, but one way is just to redraw. You just redraw from the drag spot there, and you can make the link again, or you can redraw it in that way there. So you can build very sophisticated models here. Say, and when we're having discussions about what causes what to happen. Now, in a normal organization, we don't want to dig into this too deeply, but you can actually even use this to model alternative hypotheses about strategy, but also about a whole lot of things, like even in the scientific realm, about the alternative hypotheses for why something's happening, and you can create a very rich model of this. So it's basically what we're trying to do here is to have a simple way of having causal models. We all know there's kind of wiring diagrams which are just look like spaghetti, way too complicated for a human to deal with. This is now a simple way of actually articulating strategy and looking at the logic. These things are often called logic models, and now we've got a way of elegantly actually interrogating the logic of these things. So that's really some of this. This just illustrates the power built into DoView boards. At the front level, they seem very simple, and that's what they're designed to be, to simple and accessible. But as you look at them, you can realize that they actually, the whole purpose of these, as you'll see in the other videos and on the website, is there's 20 key questions that you need to ask and answer about any organization if you're running it or trying to overview it. And the idea is that under the board, under the bonnet of the DoView boards, you can actually have all these tools for actually having a very sophisticated way of dealing with the answers to these questions. All have them in the one place, which is in the DoView board. So that's how we deal with strategy and thinking about the links between boxes within this then page within a DoView diagram. You can find within a DoView board, you can find more information about this on the website. Get in touch if you need any assistance.